Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and in this session we are going to start working with Playwright with Python. So we are going to learn how to use Playwright with Python, and this is going to be very easy and very interesting, and I will go step by step and we'll start from scratch. So in this session we will see what all things we can do with Playwright, what is Playwright and what it is used for. Then we will start by installing Python. We will first check whether Python is already installed on your system, whether you are using Windows or Mac. I will show you all the steps, and then if not, we will install Python, and then we will install Playwright, and then we'll create the first Playwright test, and that will be to open a web page. Okay, so I'm going to tell you every step and you can do hands-on along with me. This is going to be very easy, very interesting, and whenever you face any issues you can let me know in the comments or Q&A section. So do not worry if you are a complete beginner, and also do not worry if you do not know Python or any other programming language. If you have never done programming, we will learn everything step by step. Okay, so let's get started, and let us first see what's Playwright and what are the browsers we can use with Playwright and what all operating systems can we use Playwright on. So Playwright is an automation tool. In very simple words, it's a tool that we can use for testing websites in an automated way, and you can test your websites or use cases of on your web applications end to end like a user scenario. So how a user will use your website, you can in the same way you can automate the process end to end user scenarios with Playwright. Okay, and it can work with all the browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, etc. And you can use, when you want to run your tests, you can run in a headed mode. That is, you will see the browser coming up on the screen and everything happening on the browser. But we also have the headless mode. So in a headless mode, the physical browser does not come up. Everything happens at the back end. So it can save some memory and it will not distract you from your work if you want to use a headless mode. And operating systems, it can work on Windows, Linux, Mac, all these operating system it can work on. And we also have a command line mode, so we can run our tests using command line, and we can also integrate our testing with CI/CD process and use tools like Jenkins, Azure, GitHub Actions, etc. Okay, so here we already know that we can use headed or headless mode of browser, and with Playwright we also have mobile emulation, and that means, let's say you have created your test for desktop browsers and it is working fine. Now if you want to test how will it run if it is used on a browser, you can do mobile emulation and test that as well. Okay, and with Playwright you can do a lot of other things, like you can do scraping. Scraping means, let's say for example you want to go to a website and capture all the links available on the website and store it in a script or in a file. Things like that you can do with Playwright, and all the browser actions we can do with Playwright. Okay, so this is what is Playwright and what all browsers and what all it can do, operating systems, etc. Now let us first check our system. So before we do hands-on, let's check our system is ready. So we need at least 4 GB of RAM on our system, and you can check that if you are on Windows, you can go to my PC or this computer or this PC, and you can go to properties here and you will see all the details. So in my case it is a 4 GB RAM and a 64-bit operating system. And in case you are on Mac, you can go to this Apple icon and say about this Mac and you will see the details. So here I have 8 GB, and you can also check more details about the system from here. All right, so you can check your system and you should have at least 1.5 GB of available space on the hard disk. So you can also check that. So if I go to my Windows, you can see I have around 7 GB free on C drive and 15 GB on D drive. So you should have this at least 1.5 to 2 GB should be good, because we will be installing some libraries and then creating our project. So this should be good, and you should have a stable internet as we will be downloading and installing things and running our tests. Now you can also find all these requirements on the Playwright official documentation. So if you just go to let's say Playwright Python system requirements, you can search here and you can go to the documentation here. So you can see in the docs you will see all the platforms and programming languages. You can select Python here and you can see the details, and here you can find the system requirements. Okay, now I have added this link here so that you can check at your time what are the latest system requirements for your system. Okay, so once we are ready with our system, let us first check if Python is already available on the system or not. So for Windows, you can go to command line. I am pressing the command key or the Windows key on the keyboard and say CMD and hit enter to open the command prompt. And here I'll just say Python space hyphen hyphen version, and I can also check pip version, and nothing is there on my system as of now. The same commands will work on Mac as well. If you are on Mac, you can open the terminal, press command plus space to bring up Spotlight search and start typing terminal, hit enter, and here again I can say Python space hyphen hyphen version, and you can check if Python is there or not. And in case Python is not there, next step is we will download Python from the Python website, that is python.org. So I'm on my Windows and I will say download Python, and it will take me to this python.org/downloads, and here you can just click on this download Python. It will download the required installer for your operating system, and just in case you want to specifically check all the releases, you can go to your operating system, click on your operating system here, and you can check all this. You can check, so we can install using the installer. So these are all the installers. Then we also have the embedded packages or the zip file. Okay, so you can get it from here. I'm just clicking on this download Python, and this will download the exe file. Okay, that is the executable which I can run and install Python. So this is downloaded here. Okay, now I will run the installer. So you can also create a folder for Python where you will install Python, and then we can set the path environment variables. So if you're running with the installer, you will get an option to add the path environment variables. So let us see. I will first create a folder. I want to install Python on my D drive tools folder, and I will create a new folder here, and I will call it Python, and now I will double click on the installer. So this will start the installation process. Now you can see you can just click on install now, which will take install Python on the custom or on the location, this location. Otherwise you can say customize installation, and also make sure that you check this add Python to path. Otherwise we will have to manually do this. So I will also show you that, but for now let us check that, and let me go with custom installation so that I can select the location. Now I can uncheck documentation. I also don't need this, so I'll just say next here, and now I can browse the location. So I want to keep it at my D, and I have the tools folder here and Python. So this is where I want to install it, and this will install Python on our system. Okay, and you can, if you already have Python, you can check what is the latest or the minimum version of Python required by Playwright, and you can check all that here. So you can see here it says Python 3.8 or higher is required for this particular latest version of Playwright. So I'll go with this. So this is done, and I will say close. And if I now check my folder, the Python folder where I have installed, you can see all these files and folders have come here. Okay, now you can again check. So if I go and check Python space hyphen hyphen version, and I'm still not getting Python because this command line is maintaining the old session. So I will have to exit from here and open the new command line. And before I do that, let me also show you the environment variables. So I will go to environment variables. You can just press the window key or the command key and start typing environment, and you will get this option, edit system environment variables or edit environment variables for your account. Or you can go to this PC or my computer, do a right click and go to properties, and again here you can start typing env and you should find these options here. Okay, now this will open this window. I will click on environment variables. Now here you can see two sections. This section is for the environment variables for the user who is logged into the system, and this is for the at a system level. So if you have option, if you have permission to edit and add at a system level, you can do that. But even if you do it at a user level, that's enough. So if I go to my path environment variable, this path you will find both at both locations for system as well as for user. I will go to user and say edit, and you can see it has already added these two folders, that is the Python folder and the Python scripts folder. So these are the two locations that you should add in your path environment variable. Okay, so you can also make sure that these are added. And now I will go and open a new session of command line to check if Python is now available. So I will say Python space hyphen hyphen version, and you can now see Python is there. I can also check pip. Pip is the installer for Python. It will install and manage Python packages, and I also have pip. Okay, so we are now done with the Python installation. Okay, so let's go to the next section where we are now going to install Playwright. So you can now see here, you can either use a IDE and then run all the next steps in an IDE, or we can first make sure that we have installed Python. We have created a folder for our Python project and have installed Playwright. Sorry, I said Python, it is Playwright. So you can create a separate folder for your Playwright project and then add install Playwright there, and then we can decide if you want to use the IDE or you want to continue within the folder with editors and command line. So I will tell you how to do that. Let us first create a folder. Now these commands are for creating the folder from the command line. So if you want from the command line, you can use these, or I can also manually create a folder for our Playwright project. So let's say I will exit from the command prompt, and in my D drive I will create a new folder. I will say new folder. I will call this as projects, and I will go inside this folder, and again I will create a new folder here, and I will say this is Playwright demo 1. You can name it anything. Okay, now I'm going to open this folder on the command line, and the reason I want to do that is I will create a Python environment within this folder, and then I will install all the required libraries within that Python environment. The use of that, or the good thing with this, is it will keep all our Playwright project requirements within this folder and will not install it at a system level. So it will not corrupt anything else, or anything else will not interfere with this particular project and folder. So we are going to keep all our requirements within this folder, our project folder, and it will also make it very handy in case I have to move this folder to a separate system, or I have to upload it on the cloud. It will take all its requirements along with it, all the libraries and everything. So I can take it anywhere and run it anywhere after I have added everything within the folder. Okay, so let's open command prompt, or if you are on Mac you can open terminal, and then let us go to this project location. Now in my case it is on D drive, so first I will have to change the location to D. By default command line opens on C drive, so I will change the location to D by saying D colon and enter, and it is on D drive now. Now I will say cd, that it's change directory space and the location of my Playwright demo folder. So I can copy this location and then paste it here and hit enter, and you can see it has changed the location to this folder. Now on Windows, a shortcut for doing this is you can go to the folder where you want to open the command prompt and then go to this address bar here and say cmd and hit enter. It will open command line on the same location. Okay, so you can do this way as well. All right, now after doing this, we are on this our project folder on the command prompt. Now we will create a virtual environment for our project by saying python -m venv and the name of the environment, whatever you want to keep. Okay, now this will make a virtual environment for Python within our folder, and then we will activate the environment, and then whatever Python operations we do or whatever Python libraries we install will all go within this environment and will not be installed at a system level. Okay, so I will say now python -m venv and then whatever name you want to give to your environment. So let me just say venv1, or yeah, should be okay, venv is okay, and hit enter, and this will create the virtual environment. Okay, now we have created the environment but we have still not activated it. So to activate it, you will have to say, if you are on Mac or Linux, you will have to say source space env or whatever is the environment name you have given /bin/activate, and for Windows we will say the environment name, then \scripts and \activate. So I will say here venv. If I press tab, it is auto completing. You can see it is auto completing on pressing tab, and then I will say scr and again press tab, it is auto completing, and then act, again press tab on the keyboard, it is auto completing. So that means everything is fine and we don't have to manually write everything, and I hit enter, and you can see now if you see something like this, the environment name here and then the command prompt, that means now we are on that particular environment and the environment is activated. Okay, now we will do the installations. Now here I will just install Playwright. Now if you go to the official documentation of Playwright, you will find that it is suggested to use the Playwright PyTest, Playwright with PyTest. So you will see there pip install Playwright -PyTest. So that is also okay. In that case, you can directly use PyTest with Playwright, and I will show you that in a later session or in the second session. But for now, let us first only install Playwright and see how to work with it. Okay, so I will say here pip install Playwright and hit enter, and this will install Playwright. Okay, this is done, and you can also check if you go to your environment folder, you can go to include, and you can see, I think it should be under let me see, yeah, lib site packages. You will find Playwright installed here. Okay, so now whatever you will install in this environment will go within here, which is within our project folder. Okay, and just in case you want to upgrade Playwright, the command will be pip install playwright space -u. Okay, now as I told you, we can also use Playwright with PyTest using the command pip install PyTest Playwright, and if you do that, here we can use PyTest directly, and in PyTest whenever we create a file, a test file, we use test in the name, like test underscore example.py, something like this, so that whenever we run using the pytest command, it will run all our test files. Okay, it will check this in the file name and then it can run it. Or we can also say pytest and a particular file name to run that particular file. Okay, this is just for information. We are not using pytest as of now. I will tell you that in the second session. Okay, now the next command we have to use is playwright install. This will install all the browsers. So let us say, now I will say, now playwright is already installed, so I will say playwright install. Okay, so you will see it will install and set up all the browsers. So you can see as of now it is downloading and setting up Chromium, and then now the headless version, and then the Firefox. It will also add WebKit for Safari, and yes, WebKit is getting downloaded and set up. So this will set up all the browsers, and this is done. So here we are now ready with all our browsers as well, and you can check by running the command python -m playwright version or playwright version. So if I say playwright -version, I am getting the version of playwright, or I can say python -m playwright -version. This should also show me the version of playwright installed. Okay, so now we are ready with playwright. Okay, we are ready to write our first script. Now from here, it depends if you want to use an IDE or just want to write your scripts in a normal text pad or a notepad. Now it is recommended that we use some IDE, so that the IDE will give us a lot of features like code completion, auto suggestion, auto correction, or giving us all the errors in case we make any mistakes. And also we can run from there. We can add a lot of plugins, so it will be very handy, very useful if we use a IDE. Now it depends on you. If you are already using some IDE and if you have some particular preference, you can continue with that. I will tell you all the steps. So whatever we do, the steps are going to remain the same, the scripts are going to remain the same, the commands are going to remain the same. So it will not it will be okay if you are using any IDE. And in case you don't have any particular preference, I can suggest that you can start with VS Code or Visual Studio Code. And for that, I can also show you, if you go on my website, that is automationstepbystep.com. If you go here and if you scroll down to the IDEs and editors, here you can check we have Visual Studio Code playlist, and this will take you to my YouTube playlist, and you can watch if you want to watch first video, it's okay. You should watch this one for working with VS Code, where I have shown how to work with VS Code in 7 steps. Okay, so let us do that as well. You can, even if you don't watch that video, you can just follow here with me. I will say VS Code download, and this is the website code.visualstudio.com download, and here you can see we have all these installers and zip file as well. So you can select for your operating system. Now we have the user installer, which will install for that particular user. We have the system installer that will install for the entire system, and then we also have the zip file. Now here, if you take the zip file, you will just have to unzip the file and you can keep at any location instead of installing the software on the entire system. So I will go with this option. Also make sure that this is x64 here and this is ARM64. These are two different links, so make sure you get it for your operating system. So I have already told you to check your operating system. You can go to my computer or this PC, do a right click and go to properties, and you should find your operating system. So mine is 64-bit. Okay, so this is what I'm going to take, or if you want to use the installer, that is also fine. Okay, so I'm just going to take this zip for 64-bit and this will download it here, and then I will unzip and use VS Code from the folder. So it is here. It is here. First I will create a new folder where I want to unzip it. I will go to my D tools and let me just unzip it here. I will create a new folder and call it VS Code. You can name it anything. And then I will go here and do a right click and say extract all and select the folder where I want to extract, and I will say extract. Okay. Okay, so once this is unzipped, you should see this folder, and we have got all these files here, and here is the application file, which is the .exe file. In case you don't see the extension, that's fine. You can still say view and show file name extensions. So you can see this is .exe file or the application file, and I can double click here and open VS Code. In case you are on Mac, the steps are going to remain the same. You can get the zip file and unzip and then use the application, or you can just get the installer for Mac and run it. Okay, now this is opened. This is VS Code. Here you will see sections for Explorer, search, source control, run and debug, and extensions. We will go to the Explorer here, and here we have the option to open the folder. You can also get this option from file and open folder. Okay, and otherwise you can also drag and drop your project folder here. So let us try to do that. I'm going to go to my project folder, which is, let me see, yes, here. This is my project folder here. I will just drag and drop it here on VS Code Explorer, and I will say I trust this project, and you can see our project has come here. Okay, so this is our environment folder and this is our project folder. Now here, if you have to create any file, you can select and click on this button for new file. This is for new folder, and this is for refreshing and then collapsing the files and folders. Okay, so we have got our IDE ready, and as I said, you can use VS Code or any other IDE, and now we will write the first Playwright test to open a web page. So we need to first create a file, which should be a Python file having extension .py. So these are the commands. If you want to create the file from command line, this you can run on Mac or Linux, and this you can run on Windows, or you can also directly create the file. So let me just go here and I will say click on this, and I will name first test.py. Okay, and I can write my code here. Okay, now see, the advantage of using IDEs are, as I have created a Python file, it has checked that this is a Python file, so it is showing me all the options. To select a language, I can select Python, so that it will give me all the features like code completion, indentation, auto suggestion from that particular language. Also, you will see I am getting this prompt here. Do you want to install the recommended Python extension from Microsoft for the Python language? So if you want, you can do that. This will give you some extra features like, uh, code completion, auto suggestions, debugging, etc. You can also go to this extensions, and when you search for Python and hit enter, you will again see all the Python extensions or plugins. So again, this is the same from Microsoft. Okay, you can install this one. I think this is the same which is recommended here, and this will help you in your scripting, or even if you don't use that, that's fine. Okay, so this part we have already done, that is you can use some editor IDEs like VS Code. Okay, this part we have done. We have downloaded the zip file of VS Code and extracted to a new folder, and we can also install Python extensions. Okay, and you will find the Python option in the status bar as well. So you can see here, you will see Python in the status bar. Okay, and you can use this to, you can see auto import completion. I will switch it on. Check type checking, if you want to switch it on, you can switch it on or off. I will click on this Python, and you can see here all these options for Python come here. Okay, now let us write our test to open a web page. Now this is the Playwright Python code to open a web page. Now before I write this, I will also tell you line by line what does it mean. So here what we can do is we can copy this. I will keep this code as well in the description or the notes, so you can also copy it from here, or you can directly get this code, and I will tell you the options. So let's say we have an inbuilt AI assistant in VS Code, that is Copilot. You can use that, or if you don't want to use that, you can just directly go to any AI tool, let's say ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, and I will say write Playwright Python code to open google.com and print the title, and I will hit enter, and you can see it will give me the entire code. Okay, and here this is exactly what I have shown you. Okay, here it has created a function and then it is running it here. You can do this way, or you can just copy this part and paste it here. Okay, and also we can, you can see I am getting this error here because I have not yet imported the Playwright library. So I will also add this from Playwright. I want to import this. Okay, and I believe, see the error is gone now. I think we can increase the font. You can go to settings. So here we have settings. Go to settings and you can just start typing font. You should see font size here. So let me increase the font. Also, you can see the appearance or maybe the theme. I will check, do we have theme here? Okay, let me check here. Okay, so we should, I will again click on this gear icon, and yes, we have themes here. I will go to color theme and let me just choose the default light theme. Okay, I hope this is much clear now. Okay, so now we have got our code ready. So you can see we can make use of AI tools today, and we should make use of them so that our manual work can be minimized and we can make efficient use of our time. Okay, so here now you can also select your code, do a right click, and you can see if we get options for indentation. So if I go to command palette, so command palette can be very handy. You can open command palette by doing a right click and say here you will see option for command palette, or you can press Ctrl plus Shift plus P on your keyboard. or you can also get it from view, and you will see command palette option here. Okay, so I will say command palette, sorry, I'll go back here and I will say format document. Okay, so it will format the document. This is for, you can install any Python indentation and then you will be able to format it, or you can directly also do it. I will say you can also press Shift Alt plus F. So you can also just go to the extensions here and say Python formatter, and you can get any of these. And let me see, yes, I get format document now, and you can see it has corrected the formatting. So this in Python, this is what we do. We don't use brackets for, you know, for modules or sections or functions. For example, here it is starting with, and then everything that is present with a space, with the equal spaces, is all part of this block. Okay, so this is now a single block. Now you can see here, you can save your file and project. This is exactly what I have written here, and this is what we have got from this AI tool. And in, if you are using VS Code, we also have Copilot. So again, if you go to command palette and say Copilot, okay, so here you can see we have Copilot, and you can ask anything to Copilot. Okay, so if I say the same thing, or if I add the context of my file, which is first test, I will say explain this code. Okay, and you can either sign in, so you can actually create an account on Copilot and then sign. You can also sign in using your GitHub account. So this is optional. I'm just showing you just in case you want to make use of these features. So I'll just sign in here and I will authenticate. Okay, so now you can see I said explain this code, and I used my file, and then I can now try this. I can also just say write playwright Python code to open google.com and print title, and you can see it will give us the a similar code. And yes, you can see now it has explained the code. So you can also now go to your code and do a right click, and you will see Copilot, and you can ask to explain this code, fix the code, review and comment, generate docs, generate tests, all that you can do with AI. Okay, so these are although optional, but today when we have all these tools, when we have all these options, we can make use of all these things. Okay, so now this is the code we have. So the first thing we are doing here is we are saying from playwright.sync-api import sync playwright. So this will import playwright, okay, and this will make sure that we are now we can use this library in our code. Okay, then the second line with sync playwright sp. Now this code is the, this is block is starting playwright here, and here it, in the with block we will write all our code, and this p gives access to the browsers, so we can now use any browser. Okay, also when this code is when this block is finished, it will auto close the browser as well. Okay, it will do the cleanup as well. Okay, so this is what it means. And as I have already told you, that you can see after writing with, all this is written after this space. That means all this is part of the with block. Okay, then we are saying chromium.launch and headless false. So this will start the Chrome browser in a headed mode, that is it will be shown on the screen. Okay, so this is how you can also try with headless true, so that will not show the browser. and then here we are opening a new tab on the browser, and then in the next line we are going to that particular website. In this case it is google.com. Okay, and then we are getting the title by this command page.title and then printing it on the console. So as we work with Playwright, you will understand all this, and then finally we are closing the browser. Okay, so this is the code. So here we are just saying import Playwright, then start Playwright, launch the browser, open the tab, visit this website google.com, get the title, print it, and then close the browser. Okay, so let's now run our test by running this command python and the file name. Okay, and for this you can either again go to command line and go to this particular folder and then run this, or now because we are on an IDE VS Code, we have option of an integrated terminal. So if you go to view, you will see we have terminal here. You can also press the control plus backtick key. This is the key at the top right of your keyboard, also called the yeah, I think this is the backtick key. So the backtick key and the twiddle key are the same keys, are present on the same key. So you can go from here or just click here and it will open terminal window. Okay, so you can see terminal is here. You can also increase the font size of the terminal. Again, go to settings and you can go to terminal font. Okay, so you should find the font size here. Yes, so you can see it will increase the font size, and you can also click on this button to expand this window, and you will see that here it opens the terminal on the same folder. Okay, let me again open the terminal. Okay, so this is here, and yes, this is here now, and you can see it opens on the same folder location. So now I will say make sure that you have saved your file and project. I will say here Python and the file name. You can press tab to autocomplete and hit enter, and let's see if it works. And it opens the browser, goes to google.com and then prints the title and then closes the browser. Okay, and you can see our code is working fine. Now you can also see we have a run button here, and this is coming from the Python plugin that we have added. So you can also try to run from here, and that may also work. Let us just check. Yes, you can see it is running the same command. So this is also working. Okay. Okay, so this is how you can run your first Playwright Python test. I hope this was useful. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.